our nervous system. Okay, let's see. Our nervous system, first of all, we will talk today about the organization of nervous system in vertebrates. Okay, invertebrates. قلنا مين هن الvertebrates؟ Vertebrates are organisms that have a vertebral column, that have a backbone, okay, that have a backbone. So these, we name them vertebrates, okay. If we will look at the nervous system in vertebrates, we will see that the nervous system in vertebrates is located dorsally. What do I mean by dorsally? I mean that it is located to the back. Okay, يعني نحن السباينال كورد عندنا موجود بظهرنا. So it is located dorsally. Okay, so the nervous system in vertebrates is located dorsally. Our nervous system can be divided into two parts: the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system. What is the central nervous system? The central nervous system is made up of the brain and the spinal cord. So it is made up of the brain and the spinal cord. While the peripheral nervous system is made up of all the nerves in my body that are outside the brain and the spinal cord, as you can see. So all the nerves in my body that are outside the brain and the spinal cord, I name them the peripheral nervous system. Okay, now from the spinal cord I have 31 pairs of nerves. 31 pairs. يعني من هيدا السباينال كورد طالع عندي 31 nerve on this side and 31 nerves on this side. So I have 31 pairs of nerves protruding from the spinal cord. Now let's start by the central nervous system. We said that our central nervous system is made up of the brain and the spinal cord. Okay, so it is made up of the brain and the spinal cord. The brain is protected by the skull. It is formed of many divisions, but I want you to memorize only the main three divisions, which are the cerebrum, the cerebellum, and the medulla oblongata. Now, what are the functions of these parts? The cerebrum is responsible of high thinking level. Okay, so it is responsible for our high thinking levels, for our intellectual activities, also for the visual, to interpret all the visual messages, to interpret all our auditory messages. Okay, also it is responsible in a part of it for our fear, anger, all of this. Okay, the cerebellum, it is responsible to balance our body. It is responsible for the balance in our body. Yani it allows us to balance our body in order to be able to move. It allows us to balance our body. It allows us to manage our muscle tone and to manage our posture. Okay, so this is the function of the cerebellum. Okay, and the cerebellum is located beneath the cerebrum. Now, the medulla oblongata, what is the function of the medulla oblongata? You can see it here. So this is the medulla oblongata. The medulla oblongata is responsible for all the automatic functions that occur in our body. So it is responsible for all the automatic functions like heart and blood vessels function, like digestion, like respiration, like swallowing, coughing, sneezing, and blood pressure. So these are the functions of the medulla oblongata. And at the end, we have the spinal cord. This spinal cord is the link between the brain and the nerves in the rest of the body. So this is about the central nervous system. So this is all about the central nervous system. Now, what about our peripheral nervous system? Our peripheral nervous system, guys, as I told you, it is all the nerves outside my brain and spinal cord, okay? And the peripheral nervous system As I told you, it's the nerves. Okay, it's the nerves. Now, let's look. The nerves in my body can be divided into two parts, sensory and motor. What do I mean by sensory and motor? Let's see. I will give you an example. Let's see if you have this small example. Let's say I touched a candle. A candle is a hot object. It's a stimulus. Okay? Now, when I touch a candle, of course, I'm touching this candle using my skin, which is the receptor, which is the sensory organ. This skin will send a sensory message. I name it a sensory message. So this skin will send a sensory message. How is the direction of this message? The direction of this message is from the skin to my central nervous system. Okay, to my central nervous system. So it is from the skin to my central nervous system. So it is towards my nervous system. As you can see here, you can see it is towards my central nervous system. So the nerve that is transmitting this message is a sensory nerve. It is a sensory nerve. Its function is to transmit the message from my sensory organ, which in case is my skin, to the central nervous system. So this message is a sensory message. It is to my central nervous system. It is towards my central nervous system. Okay? Clear? Any question till now? Write in the chat, please, if you have any question. Okay. So this is the sensory message. Now let's look at the motor message. The motor message, guys, is the message that will go from my central nervous system to my muscles in order to make the action and get my hand away from fire. So it is the message that will come from my central nervous system to the muscle. So I name it what? I name it a motor message. I name it what? A motor message. It's from where? It's from my central nervous system to my effector organ, which in this case, it is the muscle. So because of this, I name it a motor message. So here it is what? It is from my central nervous system. So this is the first division. So it is from my central nervous system. So this is the first division. So my peripheral nervous system can be subdivided into sensory and motor. Sensory nerves that will carry the message from my sensory organs to the central nervous system, and the motor nerves which will carry the message from my central nervous system to the muscles, okay, that will carry the message from my central nervous system to the muscles. Now, this part, which is the motor message, it can be subdivided also. Let's look. I will give you another example. So here, did you understand the difference between sensory messages and motor messages? Please answer me in the chat. Did you understand this? Great. Any question? So is it clear that I have two messages in my body? I have two types of nerves, sensory nerves and motor nerves. Okay? Great. Now, great. Now let's look here. The motor message, I will give you another example, guys. If you see a tiger, stimulus, yes, يعني anything that is that resulting from your interaction with the environment, okay? أي شيء بيحصل من الانتراكشن مع الانvironment. يعني let's see, you see a tiger, okay, that is coming towards you, okay, to eat you. If you okay, of course, if you see anyone, okay, if you see any, if you touch a hot object, okay, if you touch a hot object, or if you see مثلا something that make you happy, okay, all of these are stimulus. If you taste a chemical, okay, if you taste a chemical that hurts your tongue, all of these are stimulus. Okay, all of these are stimuli that triggers your your nervous system. Sorry. Okay, so that triggers your nervous system. Okay, guys. So after I explain the sensory and motor message, let's go, or sensory and motor nerves. Let's go to the other example. Let's say you see a tiger, and this tiger is coming towards you. What will happen? If you see a tiger and this tiger is coming towards you in order to eat you, what is your response? What will happen? Tell me. Tell me in the chat. What will happen, guys? We will run away. Excellent, Makram. Excellent, Lean. We will run away. But in order to make this action, guys, okay? In order to make this action, which is running away, okay? What are the differences that will happen in my body? شو رح يصير بجسمي؟ إذا I want to run away, what will happen? Tell me. First, what about my muscles? My muscles will act. So in order to run away, first my muscles will contract or will relax. Some muscles will contract and some muscles will contract and the others relax in order to be able to run. Excellent. The other way, my breathe or my respiratory rhythm will increase. Excellent. What else? I will have high adrenaline in my body. Excellent, Hassan. My heartbeat will increase. Excellent, guys. So all of these differences will happen in my body. طيب. All of these, in order to occur, they need a motor message. Okay? No sense to go to toilet. Excellent, Christine. My heartbeat will increase. So طلعوا, guys. All of these actions, in order to occur in my body, it needs a motor message. So when I get this sensory message, let's look. When I get this sensory message, okay, which is seeing the tiger, so I get the sensory message, which is seeing the tiger, what will happen is this. Let me tell you. So when I get this sensory message, which is seeing the tiger, my central nervous system will send many messages. All of these messages are what? All of these messages are what? Are motor messages. All of these messages are motor messages. Some of these messages dealing with my skeletal muscles, okay? So some are dealing with my skeletal muscles, and because of this, I name them what? Somatic. So some, they are dealing with my skeletal muscles, and because of this, I name them the somatic nervous system. And the others, they are dealing with my internal organs. They are dealing with my internal organs. So I name what? I name them what? I name them autonomic. Okay, so they are dealing with my internal organs. So or my smooth and cardiac muscles. So I name them autonomic. Okay, autonomic. Clear? Difference بين somatic والautonomic. Somatic هن النيرفز يلي بيروحوا ناحية الskeletal muscles بجسمي in order to let me run or walk or move my hand, move my leg, move my neck. all of these. So the somatic nervous system deals with my skeletal muscles, while the autonomic nervous system deals with my internal organs, with my smooth muscles, with my cardiac muscles. Clear? Great. Now, this state, when I'm running away, so here in this case, I'm running away, صح? I'm running away, guys. What do I mean by running away? I'm in the flight mode. True? I'm in the flight mode. I'm running away. I'm afraid. My heartbeat is beating quickly. I'm tired. I'm afraid. So all of this, I'm running away. I'm in the flight mode. So this is what? Is this the sympathetic or the parasympathetic? Is this the sympathetic nervous system or the parasympathetic nervous system that's working in this case? Tell me in the chat, please. Is this the sympathetic or the parasympathetic? Excellent, Hassan. I'm so proud of you. Fairuz, Sandra. So this is the sympathetic, guys. It is the sympathetic nervous system. It is the sympathetic nervous system. Okay? It is the sympathetic nervous system. Okay? Because I'm fighting or flighting. لما أكون بحالة الهجوم أو بحالة الهروب، كل هالشغلات رح تصير بجسمي. رح يصير قلبي يدق، رح يصير اتنفس بسرعة، رح يعلى الأدرينالين بجسمي. ما رح يكون عندي sense of hunger أو sense of going to the toilet. So all of these. The opposite of this. What is the opposite of this, guys? If I'm resting, I'm sitting and I'm watching my favorite movie. It's the opposite. So I name it what? Excellent. So the opposite of this, when I'm resting, when I'm watching movies, when I'm relaxing, when I'm making yoga, all of this, it is the parasympathetic. I name it the rest and digest. The rest and digest. يعني أنا قاعدة just السيستم اللي عم يشتغل وستيميوليتد كتير بجسمي هو الدايجستيف سيستم. So I'm resting. Here, how it will be my heartbeat لما أكون أنا بالباراسيمباثيك. It will be fast or low يا مكرم. إذا أنا قاعدة عم أحضر تي في normal. اوكي حتى بيكون شوي low. طيب how it will be my respiratory rhythm. respiratory rhythm كيف بيكون؟ كيف بيكون respiratory rhythm guys؟ tell me كيف بيكون respiratory rhythm؟ relax, excellent, normal. How about my adrenaline? Do I have a high adrenaline level or low adrenaline level? Low adrenaline level. Do I have a sense of hunger? كل الناس بدون استثناء الناصح والضعيف بياكلوا وهن عم يحضروا موفيز. صح؟ أكيد. So because we are in the rest mode. طلع لك شي حدا معصب وعم يتشابق هو والتاني وعم بينتف له شعره. معقول يخطر على باله ياكل؟ أكيد لا. Okay? So guys, so this is the difference between parasympathetic and sympathetic. Let's summarize all of these, okay? And we'll finish this activity. Let's summarize this. So guys, so our nervous system is divided into the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system. Okay, the central nervous system is made up of the brain and the spinal cord. The brain is protected by the scala and the spinal cord is protected by the vertebral column. The brain is divided into three main parts, which are cerebrum, cerebellum, medulla oblongata. Cerebrum is responsible for high thinking level. Cerebellum regulates our movement, posture, and balance. Medulla oblongata regulates our sneezing, coughing, heartbeat, and respiration. Our spinal cord is protected by the vertebral column, which is the backbone. It connects the brain to the peripheries of the body. The peripheral nervous system, it transmits the message from and into the peripheral sides of the body. It is the nerves, guys. It is all the nerves outside the brain and the spinal cord. Okay, all the nerves outside the brain and the spinal cord. This is the peripheral nervous system. Okay, now these nerves can be subdivided into sensory or afferent, which is coming to the central nervous system, and motor or efferent, which are coming out from the central nervous system. Now, the motor nerves can be subdivided into somatic, dealing with our skeletal muscles and making deliberate motion. The autonomic, they are dealing with our cardiac and smooth muscles. Okay, and this autonomic, it means like the automatic. It means like I'm doing the action without I'm really aware about. I'm making the action without I'm really aware about. Okay. Autonomic is subdivided into sympathetic, which is fight or flight, and parasympathetic, which is the rest and digest system. Any question till now?